Welcome back to Supremely Black Podcast. This is your host, D Rose. Now, we're going to take this news update down to Florida. So, on Monday, of course, you know that it was Martin Luther King Day. As of Wednesday in Florida, they have made it an official ban that was ruled on that the 28 state colleges will no longer have spending for diversity, equity, and inclusion, that is DEI. This comes from Ron DeSantis has been pushing this, but this comes from the Florida Commission of Education, Manny Diaz Jr. So it's been a lot of conversations about it. If you've been following the podcast, we've talked about DEI a few times. Now that they've pretty much made it official, stating that they need to get back to the fundamental basics of whatever education should be, and they feel that DEI actually pushes false ideologies about how America was either built, the stories that happened, right? I just think this is kind of crazy timing that on Monday they were just celebrating Martin Luther King Day. Now, as of Wednesday, they have completely wiped any funding for 28 public schools in Florida, right? They've been battling for this for some years to try to get this to either pass or to be pushed back, right? Now, here's my thoughts. Do I think sometimes that with DEI, it is used as of like okay, I'm sorry, here's a job, or I'm sorry, here's this opportunity. Do I think so? Absolutely correct, right? But when you think about teaching the history of United States of America, I don't understand of what their push is to scrap anything and to not fund it, right? I feel that it's very important, if you're going to be completely honest with the kids or any student that's in college that wants to learn from it, because I don't think it just pushes false ideologies. I think that it actually teaches people that aren't from, one, the country, and two, some of these neighborhoods that were impacted by such things that happened over the course of America's existence. And that actually helps them get acclimated with people that aren't from where they're from. So when you take away that ability, you give them one thing to learn. You just give them our education system. So when you look at United States education system and you compare that to other countries, we're not doing that great, right? Kids that my little sister goes to school with, they don't even know how to write in cursive. Of course, they know how to use tablets, things of that nature. But when you think about it, what are they truthfully learning about that makes you want to say, hey, let's get back to the fundamentals of teaching, when we can actually say, as adults now, that school wasn't that great. It really didn't prepare you for a lot of things in life. Let's just be real. So I think that with Ron DeSantis, he's actually running for president and representing the Republicans. I think this is just something that he is latching on to, that he knows that people that feel like him will either, one, support it or what have you. I don't think that it gives anybody any false privileges. And then if we want to just go a little deeper, right? It's funny that the same people that are complaining about DEI are the same people that benefited from it. So just to give you a little history on it, the $5 Indian was actually people that was not of the Indian lineage, heritage, not from any tribe. They were able to use that and go to school for free based off of white people claiming that they were Indian. That's a false privilege. That's a false ideology. You all use that loophole in the system to say that you were Indian and had no history at all and robbed the system. I don't see that people are using DEI for that. I don't think that I could go into a job and say, hey, I'm black, you can give me that. The difference between the $5 Indian, if you did have paperwork, quote unquote, you were able to go to school for free or at an extreme discount because you were considered a minority. That's gaming the system. I don't think DEI has even set up anything like that. It has been put into place is to, one, teach people the history of everyone that's not white or anything that they choose to put a part of American history, so that it doesn't create division, which is a word that is used to say we want to hide the truth and tell you the lies. Two, it helps people that aren't from this country get acclimated and get to know other people and what they've been through, so they're not just whitewashed and brainwashed by whatever's going on by the media, because they tell lies. So that's my thoughts on it. I just kind of find it weird. I think Elon Musk had a topic and had some rant that he went on rambling about the DEI. I don't take it that serious. I think there's a lot of positives to it. I don't really get into the negatives, and I don't think of a person that's of a minority that I go into any interview or any presentation for a nonprofit or anything and say, okay, I'm black, you have to give me that. I still prepare myself the same way. I carry myself in a certain manner, talk with whatever intelligence that I have to get whatever I need. Now, am I aware that it could be a little difficult due to being a minority? Absolutely, but I don't set myself up for failure thinking that I can't get something. And also, I don't say, let me pull out this DEI card, because at the end of the day, we also know that these things are put into place to protect companies from a legal perspective so they can never be sued or anything like that. Because to me, how it could be used is to game the system. If you're a sports person, you know about the Rooney Rule. They have to interview a certain amount of minority candidates before they're able to make a hire. Rules like that, I just think, to me, is pointless. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to hire who I want to hire. I just need to make sure that I protect myself legally. So yes, DEI can be bullshit. But in this particular case, I don't think so. So for you to ban it from schools and say that we need to get back to the fundamental steps, it's terrible. You can just look at the reading rates across the nation and compare our education system to other countries, and we are getting ran over. China, Asia, India, it's not even close. So I would be more on the side of, okay, maybe do away with it if there was a legit point. But for Manny Diaz Jr. and Ron DeSantis to say that we need to get back to the fundamentals, what were they? What did they help? Ask those kids that are adults now, how much of that stuff that we actually apply in life, because they don't know anything about credit. They don't know how to write in cursive. Most people do not know how to write a check. It does not prepare you for life. So let's just keep it real. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with getting rid of a DEI? Cool. If you disagree and say, hey, I believe this should be done with it, let me know in the comments. As always, long live CC. I'm out.